So most of you all who are watching this video, they might know me of name of a pseudonym Shayzy on the internet, and I started making content on meme coins, specifically on YouTube and on Instagram. On Instagram, I gained millions of views as well, and a good following on Instagram and a moderate following on YouTube. But I'm pretty grateful for that. Now the reason I actually started making content on meme coins was nobody, even for people from America or people from, you know, UK or these countries, people who are always the leading in any upcoming trend or something like that, they weren't even making content on meme coins. There were very few creators who were really explaining how decentralized exchanges work, or how you can basically swap your tokens from in a decentralized wallet, and how you can basically trade Solana meme coins in a decentralized way. Also at that time, most people were not even really explaining what honeypots is, right? So it was a pretty weird era, I may say. But in just 2 to 3 months, there was a huge increase in meme coins, and kids got like riches off of that. It is pretty crazy because I have a friend who is only 16 years old, and when this whole hype came in, this whole meme coin hype came in, and Andrew Tate actually started launching his own meme coins. He probably launched dozens of meme coins. He was in the real world, and he was a biggest fan of Andrew Tate. So what he basically did was hold few of his coins, and he invested like $200 in it. Just at the age of 16, while living in Pakistan, he made almost $70,000 in just 3 days, which is a big deal, right? And he cashed out like 50K. At top it was like 70K, and so there were people who got extremely rich off of meme coins. Now, the reason for promoting meme coins, you know, now you guys have to understand one thing, that I am pretty young as well. I don't really have much experience if we talk about life, but I do have a lot of experience if we talk about these financial markets, because I personally think financial markets in a more philosophical way, also in a more psychological way, not just in a technical way, or not just depending on fake newses or just different patterns. Because when I was actually getting into crypto, I actually got into technical analysis, and I literally made a diary in which I just basically drew these lines and named these patterns off of internet and stored it there. But it was of really no use, because the profit you were getting off of that was like $10-20, and I didn't really had much money to invest into crypto. So basically, I got into meme coins. I studied these decentralized exchanges, and coincidentally, when I first got into meme coins, I actually I got into meme coins way back when Pepe was launched on ETH chain. But I was never really into meme coins at that time. I was just buying meme coins through centralized exchanges. I never really explored decentralized exchanges in a way. I only used MetaMask when I was buying and selling NFTs. Anyways, let's get right to the topic, and that was that why did I promote meme coins? Because nobody was really doing promoting meme coins, and when in just 2 to 3 months it started gaining attention, big celebs were launching their own meme coins and all. Suddenly all of these KOLs were starting to shill different meme coins. They were starting to basically say that this guy made millions of dollars of this meme coin in literally 2 days. They were just giving you this impulsion and this dopamine. And to be very frank with you, I also did that stuff because it gained me a lot of views. And if I upload a video in which there is a whole lot of information, a whole lot of knowledge, and it is a bit boring, it would never really give me that much of a return on the time that I've invested. So just take this video for example. Now I know that this video might not even get more than 500 views. Why? Because it involves genuine knowledge, which is boring. Genuine knowledge is always boring, and that's why most people don't even read books. That's why most people don't even watch documentaries. That's why most people don't even, study these new things. Why? Because it's boring. It doesn't provide impulsion. It doesn't provide dopamine. So they're not going to do it anyways. Anyways, so what do I think about crypto market right now? Plus, I will actually relate it that if like should you really follow any KOL, or should you just go by your own? You know, Now I've been into crypto for the last 6 years, I must say, and I was deeply into crypto. It was not just a side hustle, I may say, because I was like 14 years old. I had nothing to do, so why not crypto, right? So one of the things that I've discovered is that I have probably, just I don't know what's the correct word for it, but I've probably scattered all of these influencers, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube influencers, studied the biggest traders like and all. But if you're only going to watch videos on the internet, specifically on Instagram and on TikTok, you are going to learn nothing related to financial markets. And also, if you're just gonna follow a KOL and just gonna become his biggest fan and defend him on the internet, it just explains a lot of you, because this is a financial market. This He is not a celebrity. He's a financial advisor who is not claiming to be a financial advisor, while the only thing that he does is financial advice. It's so weird that most people just, the only thing that they do is just financial advising, just giving opinions on new finances and all, and they also claim to be not a financial advisor, and at the same time they are running a $30 per month crypto group as well. It's pretty weird. And specifically in the region of Pakistan and India, to be very honest with you, there is not much of a knowledge to scavenge through and to basically get with. So one of the things that I will actually recommend you all is that if you have less money in crypto, don't get into crypto. That's it. If you have less than 2,000 or $1,000, don't get into crypto. Now, for some people, it might work out. As I said, that my 16-year-old friend, he made a lot of money off of $200. But for most people, it will never really work out. And for most people, even if they invest $1 million, it may never really work out. Why? Because somebody at the end of the day is always going to be used as an exit liquidity for people who think differently, for people who are quick, for people who are just very intelligent, or I, I will not say that they have a high IQ, but they just think differently. And that's the only reason someone win in financial markets. It's not that they are good at doing technical analysis. It's not that they are good at reading news and all. It is just that they are good at seeing something and brainstorming different ideas into their brain and just generating different conspiracies off of that, and just sort of coming to one conclusion. And this is something which I'm actually writing an article on, and this is something which I will call the art of prediction, because prediction never really exists. It is something which most people just can't calculate, and that's why there is never really a true random number generated in computers, because computer can never really generate a random number, because it always knows, or it can always predict what number is going to come up next. So there is no such thing as randomness in the world, but there is randomness if you don't know how to calculate it, right? If you're just thinking the way the society wants you to think, or if you're just thinking the way that most of these KOLs want you to think, if you're just thinking the way that 99% of the market wants you to basically think, you're not going to make money in the financial market, right? Just for an example, I have pretty much said earlier in many of my videos that all of this data that you see, market cap, fear and greed index, altcoin season, relative strength index, and all, this is completely bullshit. This is this relates nothing with the core ideologies of crypto. There should be no fear and greed in crypto, because crypto is something which is decentralized. So if something is decentralized and the controls is basically in the hand of a common man, why would he even consider that thing as a financial asset? But most people eventually are considering it as a financial asset. So that's why I previously made a video in which I basically explained on how 99% of the coins on the internet, or these cryptocurrencies, are not really cryptocurrencies, or they are not something which relate with the core ideology of a true cypherpunk, or it is not something which is basically the next big thing or something like that. Because in the past, like 18 years, I may say, the only thing that we got was $3 trillion. That's bullshit. That's complete bullshit. That for the past 18 years, people are just saying that it's going to become the next big thing, it's going to become the next big thing, and it never really become anything. Like it like for most people, if we are logically speaking, if you would have invested in Tesla in 2020, you would have gained more money if you would have invested in Bitcoin, right? If you would have invested into Tesla for like $50,000, you would have made like $1.5 million, if I'm not wrong, or like $1 million, right? So yes, It's pretty weird, I must say. Also, if we talk about Bitcoin right now is minus 20%, so it is pretty much right now at $70,000 if you relate it uh, with all of the inflation and the devaluation of dollar. It is right now at $70,000 if you relate it with the past bull run as well, because past bull run it made a top of like 60 or like 63 $65,000. I don't really remember that, but and right now it is at 90K, and it is at 90K after so many ETF approvals, after so many of institutions and governments getting into it, and after just so much promotion, after like 10xing the amount of KOLs that were already promoting this whole, what category or whatever you want to call it, right? It just gained $20,000 more. Or no, not even $20,000 more, just $5,000 more. That's it. Isn't it weird? So yes, well, I do think one thing, and that is that people are soon going to realize that they never really needed Bitcoin. Bitcoin is something which is completely traceable. It is something which doesn't relate with the core cypherpunk ideology. It is something which really is not decentralized. You can say its tech is decentralized, but if someone has the control on its inflationary system and on the devaluation of Bitcoin, and if someone has the control on the price action, it basically has a control on devaluation and inflation of the whole Bitcoin ecosystem. And also, the cost price of Bitcoin, I think, is like $13,000 right now. If we take in account the whole computing power, which basically maintains this network, which are called miners. So miners, which are called miners. So basically, the cost price is low. It is a very overvalued asset. It is only an asset. It is only acting as an asset right now. So what to do now? One of the things I will actually recommend you is that if you have less than $1,000 to $2,000, develop a new business or get into something which you think is good, and try to generate some passive income off of that. And when you have generated some passive income off of that, just consider crypto as a side hustle, right? And just try to invest into new trends, new categories, specifically in DeFi, AI, and privacy sector majorly, and gaming. So by the meaning of invest, I don't just mean that you will go on your centralized exchange or Binance and just click a button and you're gonna buy it and you're just gonna store it for the next 2 years. No, don't do that. You have to go on different sites, you have to go watch different videos, you have to go explore different blockchains in a decentralized manner. You have to go and explore different wallets, you have to go and explore and do different things. And also at the same time, what I would actually recommend you is studying physics and mathematics at the same time. Now most people will actually just judge me off of that, because to be honest, I wish that I was good at maths. I was never really good at maths. I was always into technology, I was always into computer science, but I was never really good in maths, so I never really got into this whole programming ecosystem, or whatever you want to call it. But now, when I'm discovering AI models and how you can train your own AI models and how you can basically do anything using AI locally, private, this is like becoming sort of a god, right? And if someone has enough computational power, that, like, let's suppose Sam Altman, he has a 17 trillion parameter model which he can run offline as well. So it do you even know what 17 trillion parameter model means? Like, it is basically the next, like, this is probably the biggest, thing that is happening in the 20th century, I must say. The the developing of a generative AI system which acts just like a human. This is the biggest thing. So you should get into AI. You should study these new different models. And if you don't even have a good device, you can study AI. You can study machine learning. You can study how to train your models, and you can study different things, and you can make content on that, uh, on the AI sector, because there are very few people who are making genuine content on this AI sector. There are most people who are even making content on AI sector, or how you can run your own local LLM and all. They themselves, they don't even know what they're talking about, but they just have some good editors who will just try to make their video more sort of a documentary, that whatever things they are basically saying is the next big thing, right? So yes, You have to learn these new things, and you can build your own business and then invest into crypto. And at the same time, while investing into crypto, you have to discover these new things. And one thing that I will always recommend you is studying philosophy as well. It relates with everything. Philosophy is something which I don't see AI doing, at least for the next 2 years. So yes, philosophy is something in which humans, generate new data sets off of the old data sets that have basically been stored in their memory. Anyways, I hope that you guys have actually enjoyed this video. If you would like to actually see more of these videos, do let me know in the comments below. Thank you.